Yo, top of the morning, man. Today is October the 10th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, where we are live on YouTube. We have the WNBA Finals to give out official plays for. Game 1 starts tonight. Also got a Thursday night football pick that I want to get into as well. So, hit the like button for me as you join, and let's jump right into it. Go through a couple of the comments as we always do, and nothing for me to recap. I didn't play any, MLB yesterday. There wasn't any, WNBA on, and I kind of shying away from NBA. Just not being able to get the information quick enough to put the bets in. So I've been kind of watching a little bit of the preseason, but not really making any bets. What was it? Tuesday, I gave out Minnesota -4, so that was a winner. So just to recap on the WNBA season, in the playoffs specifically, 13-8, up 4.25 units, and then on the full season, we finished just short of 2.5 units. So definitely looking to continue to build on that. Let's go through a couple of the comments real quick, see who's in the chat, and then we'll get to it. What's up, Truth Teller? He says hello. Carlos Alvarez, plus 120 live bet, half unit for him. Good morning, Tasha. What up, Bitsy? Let's jump into it, man. Let's get right into it. So we have team preview still going on. Last night, just a quick reminder, I did post a video for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I always recommend diving into these team previews just to kind of get caught up on what's going on, in the off season. But new coaches, new coaching schemes, win totals, who's left the team, who's there, what's the projection of the team so far. So, NBA season right around the corner. We got like a week and a half left of preseason, and then less than a week and a half actually. And NBA season will be right around the corner. So definitely tap in, check out these previews that I've completed so far. If you think they're going to be helpful for your handicapping needs. Let's get into the game for today. It's a spicy one. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Some of the lines have moved just a tad bit. The Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty, this line was 5.5 yesterday. It looks like the consensus is 6. There's some 6.5s on the board as well. Total hasn't really moved a lot at all, 159.5. And I'm going to just jump right into it, man. The play that I like the most in this game, since the line has moved, and I didn't play the 5.5, which I probably should have, but I do think it's a Liberty spot in game number 1. I talked about it yesterday. The best way that I think you can get paid in this game would be looking at the Liberty. First half full game is playable. If you guys have, most sports books offer it. I think the best odds that I saw was -130 over on FanDuel. I saw it on BetMGM at -140. But I think, when you play these first half full games, you need two things to happen. You need the team to be winning at the end of the first half. You need the team to be winning at the end of the game as well. So, laying -130 is almost like laying a money line for, the team that you want the team that you're selecting to win both halves. And I think the Liberty do that. Going back and looking into the numbers a little bit, New York in the postseason are 4-2 straight up in the first half of the playoffs. Even though you got a Lynx team that's red hot in the first half as well, they're 6-1 straight up in the first half. And even in the head-to-head matchup, you got a Liberty team that's just 1-2-1 straight up in the first half versus the Lynx this season. So for all of those reasons, I kind of feel like you get a really motivated New York Liberty team. This was a team that after they beat the Aces, last week on Sunday, said, job not finished, we're not done. And I think the path for the Liberty is pretty cool. They get to beat, the Liberty. They get to beat an Aces team last year to knock them out of the playoffs. Then they get to beat a Liberty, a Lynx team. Both teams, I feel like, could not be more overlooked by this team. This was a Lynx team that beat them 3 times during the regular season versus they only had 1 win. And a Lynx team that also beat them in the regular season in the Commissioner's Cup as well. So I know that we're going to get at least in my opinion, we're going to get prime time motivational Stewie, motivational Jacquel Jones, Sabrina Ionescu. I expect to be really good in this game as well. So I like the Liberty early, and I like the Liberty often in this spot. With Minnesota losing, like I said, with the Liberty losing, to the Lynx 3 to 4 times a day faced off, very reminiscent of them losing to the Aces last year. And just kind of having those games circled, playing their best basketball. And I think we see that again today. So Liberty first half full game is what I like the most. That way I'm kind of staying off of the spreads, but I'm expecting the Liberty. I expect the Lynx to come out with a little bit, early in this game. But remember I talked about this yesterday from a full game perspective. I shared the trend on yesterday's show. Dogs coming off a game 5 do or die win, 0-9 straight up in the Give Me the Dogs database. So it says, the Liberty should win the game. Do they cover it by 6? I think that they do, but I think the safer bet, in my opinion, is for them to have the lead at the end of the first half, have the lead at the end of the full game. So that's the way I'm choosing to play this one. Let's see what the comments are thinking. If anybody got any thoughts. Mark says, good morning, Chris and crew. Let's make it a great day. I need one. King World says, Lynx money line. Trust me. Trust him. Okay. So opposite side here for King. He just thinks that the Lynx going to go ahead and beat him again in New York, which is something that they have done, 2 of the 3 meetings in New York so far this season. We'll see how it goes. I think the stage is a little different here, King World. We'll see how it goes, though. Bissy says, what are your thoughts, Chris, on the Liberty over 41.5 in the first half? On the team total? Liberty are Jekyll and Hyde when it comes to defense. The offense is typically predicated by the defense. When they're getting stops, they get out, they run. They're a totally different team. But you also need some shots to fall. And I'll say this, I talked about leaning towards the over. This Lynx defense has not been as good in the postseason as we saw it in the regular season. Even going back to the first round, remember, Dan Taurasi was lighting his team up. They barely won game 1 at home after being up. I think they were up 20 in that game. So their defense, a couple games they have, really locked down defensively, but, just a very, very uncharacteristic defensive performance in game 4, giving up 92 points to the Connecticut Sun. So if you can't stop those teams, I have a little bit of doubt of you being able to stop, this New York Liberty team that can really get the ball rolling. And the difference between, I think the slight difference between the Lynx and the Liberty, in my opinion, is that the Lynx do a lot of their scoring from the perimeter. They were the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA, in the WNBA, which the Liberty were top 3-point shooting team as well. And they could score in the mid-range. The Liberty can score at all 3 phases. They can get to the rim. You got Jocko Jones that can go down in the post, and she should have a matchup advantage with Elena Smith. Of course, Stewie can get to the rim. She can score in the paint. Sabrina, is religiously, attacking and getting downhill. So I think the Liberty can score. I don't think that they'll be rusty. They haven't played since Sunday, but I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about the first half. I think if anything, the first half goes over. The Lynx run out of gas in the second half. So if I'm playing the total, maybe a little bit more of a look towards the over early rather than in the second half. What up, CG3? Marquis says, rise and grind. People taking the over 161.5. I think a lot of threes will be made in the first game, both sides, and then some adjustments. Over 159.5. And I do kind of lean towards the over. I just feel like Minnesota could potentially run out of gas in the second half, coming off a very emotional, game. Game 1s typically don't go well for the dog. Tim says, Lynx early, they tire late. Okay. Skip G says, what's good, Chris and chat? I'm leaning Lynx with the points. So a lot of people thinking Lynx here. Don't let me talk y'all off. Whatever it is that you like, absolutely take it. Mark says he bet the first half over 80.5, and he bet the full game over 158.5. And I think if you like Lynx, I think I could see a game where both teams are scoring early. And then we start to see the defense pick up after some halftime adjustments. Both of these teams are really good. You got Crystal Reeves on one side, Coach Sandy Brondello on the other side. So some adjustments definitely will be made, I think, at halftime, and the game could potentially slow down, especially from the Lynx perspective, in my opinion. Good morning, Kristen. She says, best of luck to everyone today. Appreciate that. Signa says, Chris, did you have the Thunder last night? Because I did with the Spurs and got my parlay busted up. Absolutely not. I don't even think I knew the Thunder played last night. I didn't watch too much WNBA. I was watching I mean NBA. Preseason. I was watching the MLB playoffs with no action. I hadn't played a bet at all, but I did see Francisco Lindor hit that grand slam to get them to win and eliminate the Phillies. And then I watched Starting Five, I think is what it's called, on Netflix. I watched the first episode last night with Braun and Jimmy Butler, which is pretty cool. You should check that out on Netflix if people are interested, which I don't get a chance to watch a lot of TV, so I got a chance to watch the first episode last night. King says New York will take game 2, but game 1 goes to the Lynx. I believe this is a letdown spot for the Liberty coming off that emotional dominance over the Aces. They'll get back on track in game 2. Okay, so totally different thought process here, King. I can see a letdown spot for the Lynx. The Liberty already won their game. They won on Sunday. The Lynx just won 2 nights ago. No time to really, make any kind of adjustments, having to get straight on the flight and, get to New York as soon as possible. So, yeah, I couldn't disagree with you more. One of us going to win, King. One of us going to lose. And we'll see how it goes. What's up, Dav? My guy Dav in the comment section. Appreciate you for tapping in, Dav. Definitely check out Dav if you guys have not. He handicaps a bunch of things. Got his own YouTube channel. Give him a follow on Twitter as well. He says, "What's good, Kings and Queens?" He took the Lynx plus 6.5 and Stewie gets 10 boards. So Dav also thinking that it'll be a pretty close game. I think the Liberty run away with it late. Not enough to put my money on it though. But like I said, first half full game, I think is the better play here. Will says, "What up though, Chris? I think the Liberty win. It's something different about them this time," he feels. And I agree with that. Will, I was reading into this morning, just trying to kind of figure it out. And all the numbers that I put on the screen, let me just take this off so you guys can see it. These playoff rankings at the bottom are accurate. Everything on the screen is accurate outside of the situational stuff. I don't think I've changed any of that. But the playoff ranking at the bottom, you can see that the Lynx have been the second best offense, 5th best defense. And remember, it's only 8 teams that make the playoffs. So they've been the 5th best defense, 2nd net rated team. Now, if you look at the Liberty, 3rd best offense, but number 1 defense, number 1 in net rating. So they're winning by the biggest margin in the playoffs so far. And I get it, you want to take the points with the dogs, but I feel like there is, and who cares about sharp money and all that good stuff? But this line opened at like 4.5, 5, and it's continuing to be pushed to 6.5. So even more money's coming in. New York is the super public side, but typically you want to take the more rested team in the game early. And to your point, Will, I think, looking into this, I didn't know this, but there's a story that came out. I think I read it on ESPN that, the Liberty lost last year and people were talking about how Breanna Stewart just really didn't look like herself. Remember, when they lost game 5 or game 4, I think it was last year in the playoffs to the Aces on their home court, Stewie shot 3 for 17 from the floor in that game. And, I'm not sure when she disclosed the information, but, there's an article that came out that said that she lost her father-in-law. Her wife also gave birth, I think, to their first or second kid as well. So she had a lot going on in general. And I think that did have a big, big impact. This year, Stewie is, so locked in. I think she, in that elimination game for when they eliminated the Aces the other day, she had 19 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists and 4 blocks, I want to say, or something like that. I just think we'll see, but I'm trying to tell you, Liberty locked in this year, man. I love the Lynx. I absolutely love the Lynx, but I don't think they're going to win this series. Let's see. Sigma says, "What's the stats again for the Lynx first quarter?" I don't got the first quarter stats, Sigma. What's up, Nathan? He says, "The morning grind." That's a fact. Dylan says, "Finally caught it live. 6 a.m. in the 303. Appreciate you for tapping in, Dylan. Says, "I was wanting to sprinkle on the Liberty future. Liberty futures are like minus 230 something now if you want to take them. So it's not necessarily that great to get invested, in my opinion, right now. Maybe if they fall behind late in this game, you can take them in the future and for the rest of the game." Aaron says, "Good morning, Chris. I'm live betting this one for sure. Keeping it simple, get in where you fit in." That's a fact. Tasha says, "Go against the sharp bet." Okay. 3 times says, "Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Good luck." Yeah, appreciate that. So just recap real quick. I think like I said, Liberty first half full game is the best bet, and that's the one that I'm gonna make in this game. Minus 130 is the juice, and I think the best number I saw was on FanDuel. But that's Liberty to be winning at halftime, Liberty to be winning at the end of the game, staying away from both spreads. All right, let's jump over to Thursday night football. This was something that I kind of talked about yesterday as well. So we got San Francisco, Seattle, line still 3.5. I think the total hasn't moved. Still about 48.5 as well. And I am of the mindset. I talked about this yesterday, so I'll jump right back into it. The only thing different from yesterday and today is I hadn't made the play. I am gonna make the play today, and the line has moved just a tad bit, but it's okay. I think we're still fine if you want to ride with me. So, I was looking into the head-to-head matchup between the two teams. Something I like to do. San Francisco has owned the Seattle team. They're 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the number since the start of the 2022 season. And I mentioned San Francisco players and coaches speaking about blowing that double-digit lead last week against the Arizona Cardinals. After looking, and both the coaches and the players are talking about, looking forward to this game, trying to get that bad taste out of their mouth, which is why I think San Francisco starts early. That's just really the play that's really been kind of sticking to me. It's the one that speaks to me the most. San Francisco early. I looked into like I said, the number has changed from minus 1.5, which is what it was yesterday, to now you have to lay the 2.5, minus 110. I think the best number I saw is over on FanDuel. I think that's the best way to get paid in this game. With all the injuries, with looking at the deficiencies of the Seattle team, the first couple of weeks when they were undefeated, a lot of people came on here and talked about them just not being battle tested. They hadn't really played anybody before they played the Detroit Lions. They lost that game in Detroit. They went back home, lost last week as well as a 7-point favorite against the New York Giants. And now you got a tough task at hand. I think San Francisco, they have their weapons outside of Christian McCaffrey, and I think they come back with a vengeance here. I think we see a locked-in San Francisco team early, and I think they get the job done, winning by at least a field goal on the road as a favorite in Seattle today. So Seattle first half minus 2.5 is my favorite play in this game. Excuse me. Let's go through the comments real quick, and then we'll get up out of here. Super short and quick show for today. Mark says, Lynx are 3-1 against the spread and straight up against New York. I remember that Commissioner's Cup also. Yeah. And I think that's what it is, Mark. I think a lot of people looking at the straight up numbers and saying, okay, well, this is the team that gave the Liberty the most trouble. And I agree with that. I do think the Liberty, they're going to have to play a little bit better basketball. I think that they can, though. I definitely think that they can. And I think game one just really does not set up well for the Lynx, in my opinion. Having that, to celebrate the game you just won, not being rested. Yeah, I think it's probably a 10-point game today. And just going back to that real quick, these the dogs in game one's coming off of game 5. I mentioned them being 0-9 straight up, 5-4 against the number, but they're losing by average of 10 points per contest as well. So the margin of the game, it wouldn't surprise me if the Liberty won this game by 10 points. CG3 says Stewie points, rebounds, and assists over 34.5, all green. I'm not sure if it's going to be Stewie or Sabrina. I feel like they kind of going to go back and forth. I have no idea who's going to get, have the better performance. I do think it's going to be difficult for them to guard Stewie, though. And that's a lot of energy that somebody like Nafisha Carter is going to have to use on her end to slow down. I mean, this is not like guarding Alyssa Thomas from last week when, you just standing in the paint trying to figure out who she's going to pass the ball to and going to double. That defensive philosophy is a little bit different than than this New York team that can really spread the floor, and score the ball in all three areas of the floor. So we'll see how it goes, man. I just think it's a Liberty spot in game one. Doggy Bones like Sabrina over her points and assists. So we got some Stewie love from CG3. We got some Sabrina love, and I'm not disagreeing with either one of you guys. He says Sabrina points and assists, Stewie points. They come out hard game ones. I agree with that. Tasha says she's on Seattle here. Nathan says I hate Seattle for losing to New York. You and me both, because I'm a Commanders fan. So I mean, anytime New York wins, I hate it. The Jets can win. I'm cool with that. They're not in the NFC East. Niners double result, Marquis says. GLB says, morning, everyone. Can't believe the Oilers and Canucks last night. I have no idea what happened in those NHL games. Mark says, I'm on a teaser, San Francisco plus 3.5 and the over 42.5. So bought the total down, bought some points with Seattle, with San Francisco, thinking that they keep it within a field goal. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Truth Teller says, I'm on the under 49.5 and Seahawks plus 4.5. So sounds like you like a Seahawks. Sounds like you like a San Francisco team total under. And I'd be interested to hear more about that. Why do you think Seattle defense is going to be able to lock San Francisco up? I don't think I agree with that, but that's just my opinion. DB says, think that the one player that will be locked in tonight will be Courtney Williams. I'll take her points over 12.5. So, the thing about Courtney Williams, DB, if you go back and look at her last series against the Connecticut Sun, Courtney Williams, she kept fluctuating, right? The games where, after she had a really good game, she had a poor game. And I can put some numbers to that real quick. Let's go to Courtney Williams real quick. Last series, Courtney Williams is sitting at 12.5 right now. And last series, let's just go playoffs. So game 1 against Connecticut, she had 17 points. They lost that game by 3. Game 2, she had 16 points. They won that game, bounced back. I think it was 70-77. Game 3, they go to Connecticut. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. All right. So they played 5 games. Game 1, she was terrible. They lost 8. She only had 8 points. Game 2, she bounced back to 17. Game 3, in Connecticut, they win that game. She has 16 points. Game 4 in Connecticut, she looks terrible. She gets in foul trouble. She has 11 points. And then she had a big game in game number 5 against Connecticut. The game that they did win to advance. So, yeah, they'll need her to play well. We'll see what the pace look like, but I'd rather take Courtney Williams off a game where she didn't play as well. And that's just my personal opinion. 12.5 is a pretty low number. But we'll see how coming off such an emotional game impacts her. She is a vet, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. P says, I got 7.5 on Liberty to win it all. So you guys, I don't know what the decimal is of that. But, yeah, you got them in plus money to win it all before game 1. Like it. Jordan Mason, anytime touchdown for San Francisco with San Francisco money line. I was about to say, I saw that Jordan Mason anytime touchdown was like minus 270, I think was the best odds. So books definitely expected him to get in. And I couldn't talk you off parlaying that with the money line. I looked into Seattle's run defense. They think they were giving up 4.5 yards per pop. I think 3 of the 4. Jordan Mason has, had 100 yards rushing in 3 or 4 games so far this season as well. So couldn't talk you off. Dad says, I'm waiting to see how this game plays out. Made a lot of cash on anticipating adjustments and fading recent results. And I'm with you there, Dad. That's how you do it in the playoffs for sure. In pretty much any sport, especially in basketball. Tasha likes Kenneth Walker over his 59 rushing yards. Okay. Signa says Lynx plus the points, Seahawks plus the points. Parlay, would you take it? Absolutely not. I've been just talking about, I don't like the Lynx. And I don't like Seattle. So, yeah, opposite side of both of those is the way that I would be looking. Let's see. What else? Kittle birthday. Kitty's birthday. I think that means Kittle birthday, I'm guessing. Props for him. His receiving yards was 47.5. I could see him getting there with that. He's had really good games if you go back and look at it against Seattle. I think 3 of the last 4 he's gone over 50 receiving yards, and his receiving prop is 4.5. He's had 5 receptions or more in 5 straight games, I think, against Seattle. So I could not talk you off looking at some George Kittle. The problem I have, just the slight problem I have, is so many options. We saw a big breakout game from Brandon Ayuk. I think he had 140 plus receiving yards last week. You still got Juwan Jennings. So it's just crowded in that wide receiving room. And George Kittle is an excellent, blocking tight end as well, but I can see them getting them involved for sure. GLB like Zach Charbonnet over his 29.5 rushing and receiving yards. What up, Peasy? Be under 21.5, TC Bet says. He says kind of juice to minus 132, but She hasn't hit that line at all versus the libs this season, and that's because they really spread the libs out. It's a hell of a play, TC. It's hard to fade Nafisha because she is absolutely amazing. Let's just go look at it. Minus 132. I do see that. Let's look at the head-to-head matchup. You are right. Fee has had 21 points, but she had 15, 15, and 18 in the other 3 games. So she has gone under 21 and a half at all 4 of the matchups so far this season. It's a hell of a look. Courtney Williams is also 3-1 to her points prop under as well. She had a 15-point game in the last one, but she had 7, 11, and 9 in the first 3 contests as well. What up, Dirt McGrit says, yo, good morning, fam. What up, Frank? PZ liking that San Francisco first half. I love it, PZ. I will be on that. Will Jackson says, I like Jordan Mason over 17 and a half rush attempts. He's over 4 in his last 5 games, and the Seahawks aren't stopping the run. I agree with that, Will. I think, 17 and a half is like a key number. That's a lot of rushing attempts. I do think that they run the ball and they do it successfully. You just need to make sure Jordan Mason is not, has really good ball security. He lost his first fumble last week when they were playing against the Arizona Cardinals, and his snap share dropped. It was the lowest snap share that he had of the entire season. I had the numbers. Pretty sure I could find them, but I don't feel like doing it right now. But I think 17 and a half is very, very sharp in my opinion, which is why I didn't take the over there. I like his rushing yards, honestly. Over 80 and a half, I think, is the number. And when I did the prop cast with my guy Munov yesterday, he gave out Jordan Mason over his longest rush attempt, which I think is 17 and a half, a number that he's hit every single time this season. He's had at least one 18-yard rush in all 5 games so far this season. So I think that's a pretty good look for Jordan Mason, his longest rush attempt and his yards. Dirt McGrit says he likes Brandon Ayuk over 66 receiving yards. And Tasha also likes that Jordan Mason over his rush attempts as well. First half for me, though, man. Let's get back into a quick recap. I appreciate everybody for joining me and tapping in today, man. I will be on New York. Full game first half, full game, double result. For people that are looking for it, you just got to kind of stroll through the tabs. But it's available on all the major sports book. I will be playing that. Minus 130 is the best price that I saw. In San Francisco, I mentioned, them having a bad taste in their mouth. This is a divisional matchup, short week. I think that they play well here, and I think they get that bad taste out of their mouth. They come out super locked in, laser focused from the beginning of the game against a team that they've, dominated, for some time now. So I will be on San Francisco first half as well. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Hopefully you guys, cash whatever it is that you bet. Resources that I use to handicap the games are here for anybody that are interested. Definitely check out those referral codes so that you can, get a little bit off your first month if you're interested in signing up and checking out any of these resources. The link for these are in the description of the video. And that'll be it, man. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Lock in with me. We're about to, run it up again like we always do in the NBA season. Looking super, looking forward to that. And subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff if you guys are new. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Enjoy your Thursday. I'm out.